You're listening to Elite Athletic Performance.
So, episode number 2, Elite Athletic Performance. The plan for this podcast is to release weekly episodes. If we do not release weekly episodes, we have basically projects that we're working on, or we have seminars that we're working on. So, for today's topic, we're going to look into overtraining, how to address overtraining, how overtraining can basically affect other modes of mobility and lifestyle, and then we're going to go into basically recovery and regeneration. So, let's start off with basically the main topic, overtraining. How do we exactly define what is overtraining?
That's a good question. Overtraining, I think people, typically they would define it in a very nonchalant way, I would say. They say, well, I'm overtrained. Mm-hmm. Well, overtraining, actually, there's several different breakdowns of that term. First of all, there's overreaching, which is basically you had a tough workout, maybe 2 days later, you start getting delayed onset muscle soreness. You're starting to feel sore. Mm-hmm. Then there's overtraining, which is basically now that continue going with that, continue training with that. You start getting into some possible muscle damage, mm-hmm. right? And also affecting maybe some local physiology. Then you get into overtraining syndrome. Now, that's a different story. That one involves either typically a shift in hormonal changes, and that affects the hypothalamic pituitary axis. And there's two types within that realm. There's what we call parasympathetic, and you have sympathetic. Sympathetic is typically what we also is very similar to Basedoid disease, and parasympathetic is very similar to Addison's disease. The symptoms are fairly similar. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the one with the intensity, or sympathetic, that involves in high intensity training. So typically, sprinters would get that. Mm-hmm. You have the other one, parasympathetic, is more akin to people who have endurance or sort of endurance-related sports. So mm-hmm. if they're doing a lot of high-volume endurance training, they'll tend to get into that sort of overtraining.
Moving back to muscle fatigue, because certain people will train and they'll say, oh, I'm fatigued the next day or I'm sore the next day, and some people would say, oh, that's a good indicator I had an effective workout. How can basically one differentiate between this type of fatigue, at least muscle fatigue? Like, how do I know that if I feel sore today, it was because of an effective workout, and if I feel the next day, because I'm overtrained? How could we kind of break that down?
Muscle soreness is somewhat subjective. I mean, it's hard to. You could use a algometer, which is a device that they use to measure pressure, mm-hmm. and you can put that on an area and you can push down. I mean, and a certain point when it elicits a certain amount of sensitivity, you record the measurement and give you somewhat of a relatively objective measurement of discomfort.
Would there be any other practical tests that people don't have access to, like this type of equipment, like a basic grip strength? Like, is there any type of just holding a barbell for
muscle soreness? I use the indication if you have stairs, so you have to climb stairs. Let's just say you did a squat workout on Monday, okay, and mm-hmm. the next day, you're not too bad, but by the end of the day, because as muscle soreness starts kicking in, you're starting to have a hard time walking upstairs. Now that could be subjective. I mean, I usually would determine that is, do I have spring in my step? And you know that because if you haven't trained for a bit, you feel a bit lighter, mm-hmm. and if you're starting to feel heavy, that's usually an indication of what we call mild muscle soreness or mild, soreness. If you're starting to have problems walking upstairs, like your grandmother's trying to beat. I don't know, maybe your grandmother's fit. I don't know. Let's just say some guy that some behemoth that you normally work out with, you can kick this guy up the stairs, no problem. All of a sudden now he's beating you up the stairs at a normal pace. That's muscle soreness. That's gonna okay. You got a little bit too much there. Okay. So I would use walking, and just walking upstairs or just mm-hmm. walking mm-hmm. to determine am I light on my step or am I